Over the last couple of videos, we have been completely redoing our gravel area in the backyard.
Y'all have not seen Molly this excited about a project.
We've added a pool.
Oh my gosh, what have we been doing?
Built a fence, and now we are tackling something very new to us. Forming, pouring, and finishing concrete.
You know why are we doing this? Just because I want to learn how to do concrete. I saw this on the tubes.
We are adding a curb to the area and pavers that lead to the pool.
One of the things Molly and I wanted to do to really help finish off this area and help define it better is replace these sort of haphazardly placed little, I don't know what you call these things, paver stones. We put these in when we originally put the gravel in. Never really got them level or anything. Never cut them to it. They just don't look that great. They move around. Half of them are on an angle. And we wanted to try pouring our own concrete garden bed curbing. So we're going to remove all of these. We're going to pour a nice uniform curbing that should last a lot longer, be easier to mow up against, and just overall look a lot better. As well as add some large poured pavers to get in and out of the pool so you're not having to walk onto the gravel. So we're going to start pulling these pavers up, start forming up some concrete, and hopefully pour concrete soon and get this party started, something that Molly and I never done before. Let's get to it.
Luckily, we've already done, what, like a third? We've pulled up that much.
Yeah, well, it ain't really that hard to pull them up. Look.
Well, but just moving them around a lot. Maybe it's just me.
Just use some string lines and some paint to get everything marked out where we want our curbing to go so that we know where to dig and so that we don't take out too much grass so that grass doesn't have to grow back, hopefully. And so we're just going to sliver out this extra bit of sod here, and then we're thinking we're going to do a nice little curve over here and kind of figured out a clever way to make that curve. We'll see what we can use boards wise to actually make that curve. You got an ant on you. So let's get this dug out.
You look ready.
Oh yeah, I remember last video when I said I need me a tool belt? Well, I got me one now. This is
not just a tool belt.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets right here. Not really. I mean, there's a lot of great tool belts out there, but this one is tried and true and been a staple for people for decades and decades, and I'm a sucker for handmade leather goods, especially USA made leather goods, and well, this is like the pinnacle of that. So pick me up one of these. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you're interested in it. It's a bit pricey, but it's sort of a buy once, cry once sort of purchase. It'll last a lifetime and easily repairable and all those sorts of things. So I'm rocking and rolling now, Molly. I look like the real deal, huh? Just for poops and giggles, it's absolutely dead nuts level. I was just telling Molly, it doesn't really matter if it's level. All that we really care about is that it's matching the slope of the ground so that the curbing is a consistent thickness out of the grass so it looks right. Doesn't matter if it's level or not, it just needs to look right. But it just so happens that it's literally perfectly level. Like, I wouldn't have even tried to get it that close to level if I wanted it to be level. Gotta figure out a way to make this curve. We could go get us some common thing to use is like a fiber cement board, like a piece of siding or something like that that will curve smoothly. But you know what? We got a whole bunch of wood laying around here, Molly. Let's just figure out something with what we got that'll work, because we got a lot of stuff that we'll probably never use unless we use it for, you know, things like this. I don't know if this is gonna make this curve. Not without some relief cuts. Feels like it's gonna snap already.
One way to find out.
That worked great. Plywood ain't gonna work, not this type. Let's see how 1/4" plywood fares.
Ah, maybe that was a bad piece. What in the world?
We'll try to feather this curve in here. Well, I don't know. Think that'll work? Think it'll work?
I think that'll work.
Another ant on you. You are just down with all these ants on you. I know that my screws are on the inside of the form. These will be easy enough to break off of there and get out of there. It won't matter. I also know that screws aren't, you know, necessarily the fastener of choice for forms because they get filled with concrete and then they're hard to get out, but we're going to be careful. I'm also aware that this isn't super well supported, but I don't think that there's going to be enough concrete in there to really matter. Could be wrong. I also feel like I should be able to shape it a little bit if I need to. Once the concrete's in there, I'll have a little bit of time to work with it if I need to. Don't know though.
Is this all coming from your late night YouTube university?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, why are we doing this? Just because I want to learn how to do concrete.
That's
you know?
literally the only
That's
reason.
literally the only reason. All I really care about, my mission in life, is to just learn how to do all sorts of stuff, you know? I'm just lifelong learner. Just enjoy learning new skills. So this is a test of that. Actually, it's really
And it's
more
practice.
It's practice, but it's also like do I really want to get into concrete?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little
It's a
small.
simple with a complicated aspect thing. So I think we're good enough, to be honest with you. I think we're good enough.
We can rip it out if it's horrible.
I want to rip it. It ain't gonna be horrible.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it's gonna be horrible, Molly. I'm just
saying
saying there
it's-
might be some things that I go, that ain't really
Well, I'm just
perfect.
saying if it's small enough that if it turns out bad later on, then
Yeah.
can
But it
scoop
ain't
it
gonna
out.
turn out that bad. I don't have that little faith in me. I'm
I
just thinking
don't.
this corner might be a little, ugh. Last thing I need to do is I need to go down through here with a tape measure, mark on my form boards where I'm gonna put control joints in, so that we have a control joint is just basically a groove in the concrete where you want it to crack, because it's gonna crack no matter what. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-pick some spots for those joints so I can know where to put them in. We ended our last pull video with an entirely green, nasty, disgusting pull, but as you can see, it's nice and blue and clear now. And Molly and I finally figured out how to get that, you know, looking better with all the comments that you guys left down below. And we're implementing some stuff in the future to help prevent that from ever happening again. But that's not the only thing that we've been fixing, because today's sponsor is iFixit. And iFixit fights for your and I's right to repair, which is something Molly and I are super passionate about. And they do that by selling awesome kits just like this one. This is their Protect Toolkit. It comes with all the tools, gizmos, and gadgets you need to work on common everyday electronics, like your cell phone, which if you watched probably like 4 weeks ago's video, something around there, I replaced the battery in my iPhone 11, which is still kicking around, doing well. That saved me like $900 for not having to go buy a new phone, and that entire kit was only $40 for the battery, the tools, and everything you need to replace it in your phone, which is a killer deal. And iFixit has been fighting for your and I's right to repair for a long time, making a huge difference in e-waste, as well as saving a bunch of people like you and I money, because it's nice to go from, you know, $40 battery replacement instead of a $900 phone replacement bill. So if you're interested in fixing anything you have around your house, learning new skills like that, saving a bunch of money, I highly recommend you check the links in the description below, and you can check out iFixit's website. I highly recommend the ProTech Toolkit if you just want to get an all-around solution for all sorts of things around your house. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video, iFixit, and let's get back into the video. Well, we've been rained out for another 2 days, so these forms have just been sitting here, but we're getting after it this morning. Got our bags of concrete sitting here. Got the mud mixer all set up and ready to go. Plenty more concrete over there. I hadn't even done the math to see how many bags this will take, but I know we have enough. So we're just gonna start pouring. Leave a comment down below how many you think it's gonna take. You got any guesses?
13.
13?
Is that too little?
I feel like that's pretty good.
I feel like more than 10.
You do?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna go under and say 12.
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
One under?
One under. It might be less. We might be shocked, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that, like, perfect, but, you know, Molly, first time, and it don't have to be absolutely perfect.
I think it'll be fun.
It's not as precise as I would really like, gotta be honest with you. What I really need is, I need this to come like that. I need that guy to go that way. According to Google, if you wet your forms really well, it helps keep the concrete from basically having all the moisture drawn out of it into the wood and into the ground and such, and will help it set up a little slower or a little less starved of moisture, and maybe help make it a little stronger, a little less prone to cracking.
Whatever Google says, huh?
If Google says it, it must be right. In true Dylan fashion, when he wants to learn something, he just goes and buys all the things, you know?
Is that all the things?
Yeah, I don't really like, you know, buy new clothes or go eat at fancy restaurants.
No, you just spend on an abundance amount of the tools that you need, every tool that you need.
Every tool I might ever need.
Yeah, ever need.
The only thing I spend money on is tools. But hey, I got maybe, like, probably for me, a partial or maybe even lifetime supply of concrete tools.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, gotta do it right.
Look, and look at this. Look, you ready? I'm about to look like a real concrete guy. I saw this on the tubes. And look, they get one of these. This is how they hang their stuff. You ready? Look at that. You know, so maybe they want to hang.
Oh no.
Bigger guy, you know. But I think these two. And then we're gonna need this guy right here, the little edger. He's gonna put us a nice crispy edge on there. Also got a wide variety of brands here. I just literally picked whatever the cheapest version of the type of thing that I needed was. Well, not the cheapest in like the cheapest quality, but like whichever brand had the better deal on the type of like specific thing. Like for instance, this was recommended for big slabs. Okay, I don't even remember what this is. A 20 by 5. I can't remember what these are called, the rounded versions, but they're supposed to be more forgiving for people like myself. Whereas if you've got the hard, sharp edges, you can tend to leave more lines. However, this brand, I think this is Kraft. Yeah, this Kraft brand was a lot cheaper than the Marshalltown brand, but it was the same thing, and it's a quality piece of tool. So, you know, I'm not loyal to brands. Whoever's got the best deal on the right thing I need, you know? This concrete's been sitting out there for a while. I had it well covered, but I hope it's not set up. Also, I've seen some comments about this dust is horrible to breathe in. You're absolutely right. It's horrible to breathe in. Don't breathe it in. Don't do like me. Oh, I can't keep up with the thing. many bags did it take, Molly? We got 4 over there. So it took 5. That's 5?
6.
6? 5.5 bags. We were way off.
Way off.
In a good way. That only cost us like, well, I don't know, maybe 30 bucks worth of concrete, something like that. Ain't too bad. And, you know, we have some waste here. I wish I would have formed up a few other things that I wanted to do. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, $2 or $3 worth of extra concrete having to be thrown away. I mean, that ain't too bad. Now comes the more tricky, nuanced part of finishing it. We'll see how I do with that, because, you know, that's the make or break, I guess, point. But we're looking pretty good. We're already getting pretty close over here. Molly, I'm hopping on the old edger for the first time, and, well, gosh dang! I ain't so bad! Look at that! This is very tricky. It took me a little bit of getting used to, for sure. Kind of got to go in there and establish it. Kind of keeping this off of there, kind of leaning in a little bit, fine. To establish it. And then there's like areas like that where you got a little some missing. I'll just pack that in there. Then it's a sort of like that motion, so you're keeping the leading edge going. We need some control joints in this, but my control joint maker, it's a little too big, I think. Hopefully I can still see my lines. And I also don't really, you know, I think I might be doing this too early, but too early is better than too late.
Come at it the other way.
All things considered, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, this corner might end up having to get cut out. Might have to redo it. Because, well, frankly, it looks like crap. But it ain't.
It's not bad.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the full report card here. I'd give myself a solid B, even a B plus on finishing. Only parts that I really failed at, I think, are the control joints. And I just don't have the right tool. Maybe I'll be able to fix them if I can pull these form boards off. Forming, give myself a solid D minus. This little curve, which, to be fair to myself, not really the easiest thing to form up your very first time forming concrete, but it's just not consistent. Now, maybe when you get rock pulled back against it and grass is there and it wears in, you may never even notice.
Nobody's gonna notice but you.
Oh, somebody will notice.
No.
If I were to walk over to this house, be hanging out around the pool, and I was walking around, in my head I'd be like, oh.
Well, you're always looking for that kind of stuff.
Don't pour your concrete. Oh. They're drinking on the job that day.
Oh my gosh. So what now?
Now just let it sit there. I mean, technically, I think I could hit it again with the edger to get it even smoother, but I don't actually want it to be like mirrory smooth. I'd rather it have a little bit of texture to it. So I think we're just going to let it sit up. I might try and pull the form boards off a little later today and touch up. Nah, it's probably not going to happen. I was wondering how long I have to wait to take the form boards off. Because if I could take them off right now, we could really touch these things up. And I'm tempted to try that. Maybe we try it down here where it doesn't matter so much. I think we could. I think we could take the form boards off. And then I could hit the sides and get the sides looking good. Let me do a finger test down here. Concrete timing apparently is everything. And I believe it now because I'm learning. Oh. Yeah, she's going off. I could probably push it in a quarter, but not much more. So I think we could take these off. Okay. That went surprisingly well. We now have a curb. And now I'm gonna go back, do my edges. See, if I hadn't taken those out, you can see all the little bits and bobs that wouldn't have been finished on the edge. And so now I'm gonna go back over it with the edger with this guy, and I'm gonna take a trowel on the side, finishing trowel on the sides, and try to smooth out the side a little bit, make the side look nice. I don't know if I got enough time. I don't know if I did this too late, too early. I have really no clue. Okay, I think I have enough time.
Dying.
Much respect to concrete, folks. I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised with how it did. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty dang good for a first go around. And other than the little corner area, that looks pretty alright. It's a new day, and our concrete curb is looking nice. Really good, actually, Molly.
I know.
And now we're gonna move on to pouring some pavers that connect this patio to the pool, so you don't have to walk across the gravel to get in and out of the pool. Didn't want to do that when we did this because, you know, I didn't want too much concrete to deal with on my first go around. So we're gonna form up some simple rectangular pavers. Don't really know exactly what we're gonna do yet, and get to pour in some concrete.
Absolutely no shoveling.
Absolutely no using any of your body, because you are a fully incapable woman, because you're bearing a child, and no woman ever in history has ever continued to do anything in their life while bearing a child. About to die, aren't you? It's too hot out here, huh? I know. Too hot out here for a lean, mean, man-eating machine. Ain't that right? We had a bit of an oversight on this gate when we built it. We only have about 2.5 inches of clearance here on the bottom, which is great over here because we want the gravel to be really close to the bottom of the fence when it's all put back in. But we also want the concrete pavers to not be lower than the gravel, because then gravel's all over them, which means that this gate is going to be too short. It's going to hit our concrete pavers out here. So I'm just going to take this gate off. We're going to do the concrete the way we want it to be and get all the gravel the way we want it to be. And at the end, when we're wrapping everything up, which may or may not be in this video, I'll cut some off the bottom of this gate to make this gate work for whatever this ends up being, because I want this to be right.
Yeah,
you know?
I would rather this be right than
It's
that,
easy to modify
yeah.
a gate. It's hard to modify this if we do it wrong.
Yeah.
It's too hot. had to go get us a new canopy tent because we need some shade. The other day ours unfortunately just got destroyed in a windstorm. So picked up another one. Hopefully this one lasts a little bit longer.
This is taller too. This is some shade.
Shoo wee, Bonnie, what have we been doing? We had a little 10 by 10. This 12 by 12 is serious.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, 16 feet tall or something.
We're in the daggum Superdome out here. How big of a gap are we thinking between? Pick a gap. That's 8 inches.
Oh, that's good.
Go 8 inches?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do that. We got 114 and 3/4. 114 and 3/4. We're going to subtract that 8 inches twice. Subtract 16, so we're 98 and 3/4. So then we're going to divide that by 3, and then we're 32.91. So what we'll do is we'll go 33 inches, 8 inches, 33 inches, 8 inches, and then it'll be whatever it is over there.
Perfect.
We're fighting a whole lot of stuff right now that's a little frustrating, but it's all things that aren't really going to matter in the end. So first thing we're fighting is that the guys that formed up our concrete patio did not form it up square to the house, but we built this fence square to the house, so it looked like that, you know. So I'm taking measurements off of here. So our pavers, are they going to be square or perpendicular to the concrete slab, or are they going to be square perpendicular to this fence? And so chosen this fence, and if there's a wedge shape, I'm hoping it disappears under this gate door. I'm hoping that when you look down this thing, these lines will be lined up with the patio and not this. And the reason is because you're more likely to have your eye line up with the patio and the curb that we put in than your eye line up with that fence, just because of where most people would be in the yard. Whole lot of thought, you know. These are some of the little micro details. But the other thing we're fighting is that so the patio slopes for water. This does not slope. This fence is built level, and we want that concrete to come up to that first board basically. But over here it's sloping away, so we're actually not perfectly in plane. We're a little skewed. What we're doing, not going to matter. Rain's going to run off. That'll be good. Other problem we're dealing with though is that when this patio is put in, we purposefully sloped all the dirt away in the first 2 feet of the patio like this all the way around. So over there is a lot higher than over here, and so we've basically had to split the difference between being, you know, not too much of an angle and not too little of an angle to where it goes to nothing over here. We're just like splitting hairs, trying to get this thing somewhat.
Splitting hairs everywhere.
Yeah, it's
every which way.
It's one of those things. It's like every direction is a little skewed, but skewed in a way that should make sense. Your eyes are what tell you whether or not it's square.
Yeah.
That's the things that frustrate you. And then there's a guy like me that comes along doing a remodel, and I'm like, who the hell built this wall? That's freaking 4 feet out of square. But then the next guy was like, I have to build my wall 4 feet out of square because this guy built his wall 4 feet out of square. So it is domino effect. All right, Lesson learned. That one was definitely way too wet. I mean, it's not really gonna matter for what we're doing, but definitely too wet. And I was having a little bit of a trouble getting consistency there, and that's because I was letting bags run out. This thing tends to work a lot better if you stop it before a bag runs out, like in advance of a bag running out, and adding another one in. If not, then it adds too much water trying to catch up on the back end. So I'm gonna try to keep up with bags this time, and that one may take a little bit longer to set up, but that's it. Ain't gonna be that big of a deal. Gosh, I just need the smallest amount to make this work.
Well, we're out of concrete in there, so we'd have to open it up another bag.
I wonder if there's any in the chute.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like maybe in the...
There's definitely some out there that we can get mixed. Maybe I can turn the waterway down.
Can you look?
I'm gonna turn the waterway down. See if I can just get some to come through. That'll do, donkey. Cheap tool. It's failing me. One of these. No, I bought my Edger's Husky too. Yep. It's the only non-concrete brand tool that I bought, and it's literally falling apart.
Are you serious?
This coating on it's falling apart. Now look at it, just falling right off. Matter of fact, it's just aluminum, and I didn't necessarily read the packaging, but when I bought this I thought I was buying a magnesium float because it looks like a magnesium float, but it's just some sort of coating on what looks like aluminum. This isn't even what this is used for, yet here's the difference in a quality tool. I mean, it's just night and day different. God, I keep sweating. Keep dropping sweat beads into it. You think that's gonna be good enough?
I was just about to ask you that.
I gotta sit here and keep polishing them and making them super pretty, but I don't think they need to be too terribly polished. I want them to somewhat match the patio, which is semi. I will say, here's what happened today. Synopsis of what went down. So, too soupy on the first pour, which resulted in something that was really easy to work. Had plenty of time, significantly easier to finish. The edging went perfect. Middle one, way too little water, and it was a nightmare to finish, and the edging looks terrible in a lot of places. In fact, the back corner over there is kind of chipped off, and I think this corner over here is going to chip off. The middle one doesn't look good, just plain and simple. The last one, I think we did perfectly. Like, we did just the right amount of water in. It was easy enough to finish, but it didn't take forever to kick off like that one did back there. And yeah, I think that was the sweet spot. And the middle one's just an unfortunate reality of learning a new skill.
That's what this whole project is, really.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. It'll be it'll be plenty good.
Fine.
It'll be plenty good enough for what we're doing. Plenty of good enough for the girls I go out with, as my pops would say.
Stop touching everything.
If you're interested in what all I'm using, I'll leave links in the description of what I found personally really good. Like, this thing was incredible. It was way easier than the rest of them. I think it's called a pull trowel. Don't hold me on that. But I'll leave links to all this stuff that I picked out in the description. I tried to get stuff that was good quality, that was affordable, you know? So hopefully, if you're interested in doing this, that'll be helpful for you. I guess we'll find out tomorrow what these things really look like. Molly's gonna hang out in the pool, and I'm gonna start moving all this gravel back into position so we can finalize the entire gravel area.
Finally finalizing.
Finally.
Well,
Not really.
not really.
Putting a lot of faith in the comment section, because we're putting rock all the way around the pool, all the way up against it.
And now that the pool is double the price from what we paid, I swear to goodness.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't a mistake, but according to the internet, it's very, very common and a good thing to put these pools on gravel or gravel around them. So, we're doing it. Well, folks, I think this project is turning out really amazing, and we can't wait to continue to add on to it and really complete it and have it be this entire nice outdoor space. But that'll have to wait for another video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.